Welcome to Early U.S. Midterm Game 2. This is Melinda Klein. Because of the shortened format from question to answer, I highly recommend you use the pause button so you don't see the answers too quickly. All right, here we go. First question is community life for 30 points. What humiliation tactic effectively identified controversial individuals who chose not to join in on the patriot cause? Name this tactic that affected their ability to do business in towns across the colonies by humiliating them. The answer is tar and feathering of loyalists or disinterested colonists who resisted joining the patriot cause. Next question is society and culture for 10 points. What colonial resistance measure was encouraged by patriot propaganda in which the general public could participate? Name this activity. This activity was boycotting British imported goods. Next question, public lives for 20 points. Boston's Sons of Liberty planned and executed the destruction of private property on 3 vessels carrying 342 crates of tea worth about 9,000 pounds sterling, about $700,000 in today's money. On principle, the colonists refused to pay for the damaged goods, even though Ben Franklin argued otherwise. Explain how the British government reacted, measures taken, and for what desired result. Implementation of the coercive acts, also known in the colonies as the Intolerable Acts. Closed Boston Harbor, required Massachusetts colonists to pay back the value of the tea, and revoked their 80-year charter, making Massachusetts a police state under military control. Next question, Republican rulership for 10 points. The Stamp Act of 1765 differed from British taxes applied in the colonies in the past. Why? Out of the 3 British American colonial regions, what region protested the most and articulated an argument for repeal? It was a direct tax applied by the government of George III in effort to reduce the national debt after winning the 7 Years' War against the French. The Stamp Act tax applied to the 13 mainland colonies, the British Canadian colonists, and the English colonies in the British West Indies. Only the 13 mainland colonists argued for nullification. Next question, warfare and conflict for 10 points. Name 2 of the long-standing American grievances that lay as underlying factors as causes of the War of 1812 between the USA and Great Britain. These included impressment of seamen by the British, or Indian raids on the frontier, or interfering with American trade rights on the high seas, or British blockades of American ports. Next question, warfare and conflict for 10 points. What warfare tactic implemented by General George Washington proved to be instrumental in giving his troops experience, and lifted morale. Frequently changing battle locations to avoid capture and to give his men the confidence they needed, and this would help them with battle readiness. Next question, society and culture for 30 points. A skilled seamstress of colors, Mary Pickersgill, provided a storm flag and battle ensign for the U.S. Army. Name the battle and the war associated with this story. Also identify how the battle was remembered by Americans after it was fought and later by an act of Congress. The event was the Battle of Baltimore, 1814, fought at Fort McHenry. First, it was a poem by Francis Scott Key, then a song. By 1931, it was enacted as the national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. Next question, public lives for 10 points. While published anonymously first, who authored Common Sense? And to what colonial population was this political pamphlet most popular? The answer is Thomas Paine. The population was artisans, farmers, and generally the working class public, not elites or intellectuals. Next question, community life for 40 points. During the first U.S. Congress, the government enacted sources of federal revenue with the Hamilton Tariff and the Whiskey Act. During this process, when national institutions were created, such as the U.S. Supreme Court, name two national institutions that were debated at this Congress but not created. The two institutions not created by Congress include a national church and also a national brewery. Next question, society and culture for 20 points. What was the Great Compromise in the early Republican years? A key political balancing act that resulted in additional congressional representation for southern states. Identify the key to balancing representation. To achieve a more balanced political voice in Congress regarding popular representation, a compromise reached by non-slave-owning states. 5 enslaved persons would count as 3 free persons. Today, voting districts need 30,000 persons to elect a representative and send him to Congress. Thus, counting regional populations has always been important. Next question, Republican rulership for 30 points. It was debated in Congress the range of women's rights in the new republic. What line of reasoning phrased by the government would resituate women out of businesses and retard ideas of pursuing higher education? Name this philosophical ideology. This philosophical ideology was Republican motherhood. Next question, community life for 10 points. What education program leading to a graduate level degree following the American Revolution was open to men but not women until about 1850? Historically, in providing advice and action, knowledgeable community women filled this pre-university role as the first line of contact. Name one of these two professional fields and its corresponding degree that excluded women as university applicants. As university-trained men became the accepted standard, this excluded women who had previously performed services to her neighbors in the past. New fields within women's medicine that were historically performed first by women included the new fields of pediatrics, childhood physicians, and obstetrics, services for pregnant women and mothers. Male MDs ended the role of midwives. Next question, public lives for 40 points. What U.S. general is remembered in history as fighting the most famous battle of the War of 1812 after the peace treaty was signed, Christmas 1814? Also named this battle from which a historic legacy evolved. Because of this legacy, this man would engage in a political career that would land this former frontier lawyer in the capital by 1828. This is a two-part question. The answer is Andrew Jackson, and this is remembered as the Battle of New Orleans, January 1815. The next question is warfare and conflict for 30 points. About 40 to 50% of the British American colonial population were loyalists to the British government during the Revolution. American patriots, by contrast, were a minority population of whom were known to resort to violence to make a point. Name 2 out of the 3 characteristics of action taken regarding new imperial tax policies of the 1760s and 1770s. These included political resistance, intellectual debates on constitutional issues, and popular, general public, signs of resistance measures. Next question, community life for 20 points. What colonial and early republic era town residence first served as the drop-off and pickup location for the mail while serving other important functions as a communication center? The answer is taverns, run by individual families or private persons that served community needs as a public space while being an extension of their family home as a family economy. Next question, Republican rulership for 40 points. The framers of the U.S. Constitution tried to balance domestic rule by election, popular vote, with the fear of runaway democracy. Between 1776 and 1791, democracy happened. Why were common menfolk with little or no property or education expecting to vote as citizens in the new republic? Because in the colonial period, average men in the New England, Middle Colonies, and frontier regions, less so in the plantocracies of the Southern colonies, had attended town meetings for 150 years. They voted on local and colonial issues, served political posts, sat on juries, protected their towns from Indian and pirate raids, along with foreign invasion, and when necessary, voiced their consent and protests on issues concerning economic and political issues. Next question, Republican rulership for 20 points. What incendiary characteristic did writers in the Declaration of Independence, such as Thomas Jefferson, claim about their king? This claim, along with others, according to their line of argument, supported separation from the British Empire. The answer is George III was portrayed as a tyrant. Next question, society and culture for 40 points. Unlike Federalists Alexander Hamilton and George Washington, what three population groups did Thomas Jefferson argue were the entrepreneurial backbone of the young republic, best suited to grow the economy? Name at least two of these three American economic groups. These three economic groups included frontiersmen settling the West, yeoman farmers, and small business owners and professionals. Next question, public lives for 30 points. What founding father was considered the architect of the U.S. Constitution of 1787, who later became president during the final decade of the Napoleonic Wars? This unlikely president would ask Congress in 1812 to wage war with Britain. Name this seemingly distant, though capable president and his fondly remembered wife, who brought out the best in him. The answer is James and Dolly Madison. Now it's time for the final question. By the 1790s, U.S. and British governments enjoyed a healthy and profitable economic relationship. But two wars altered this fact. For decades, Britain and most of Europe waged wars against France, which complicated U.S. trade with Europe. Why? What was the reasoning behind this, and what did Britain do that hurt the American economy until 1914? The U.S. government and businesses neutral during the war supported trade with France. The British government raided U.S. merchant vessels, impressed U.S. seamen recognized as British citizens, encouraged Indian raids on the frontier, and interfered with U.S. trade and commerce on the high seas while enforcing blockades of American ports.